Jon Landau, Level Up, and more. INLC starts now. Hi, LC. I'm Mandy Ramirez. By now, you are well aware that Jon Landau is coming to Lynchburg College for a special talk on ethics in the film industry. This week, INLC has an exclusive interview with the man responsible for Mr. Landau's visit to campus, Dr. Paul Kelbaugh. Who is Mr. Landau, and why are you bringing him to Lynchburg College?
Jon Landau is one of the most successful current Hollywood producers in the current movie scene. Mr. Landau goes back to the days of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Dick Tracy and with Warren Beatty, all the way up to the very present, where of course he was the producer on Avatar, and he was the producer of Titanic. So he's got a whole span in between of 20-some movies in between. He's the go-to producer in Hollywood. He's known for a strong ethical line in his movies. He aligns himself with very focused directors in Hollywood. He spends a lot of time partnering with James Cameron. If it's a James Cameron movie, there's a 50-50 chance that Jon Landau is the producer of the movie.
Okay, and why did you want to bring him to Lynchburg College?
There were two reasons, really. I haven't told anybody this story. I've been saving this story for you and
okay.
INLC. I was watching an old Zero Mostel movie, and it was called The Producers. And it was about this guy who, as the producer, he makes his money producing movies and plays on Broadway that are going to fail. And then when the play fails on Broadway, he takes the money and runs. And the movie's all about ethical corruption, about doing the wrong thing, cheating people, being a scoundrel. And I was watching this movie, I was laughing. Of course, I teach applied business ethics here at Lynchburg College. I teach business law, applied business ethics, leadership and business ethics here on the faculty of the School in Business Economics at Lynchburg College. So I was watching this movie about this totally corrupt Broadway producer, and I was laughing. At the same time I was thinking, you know, we need to get our hands on a Hollywood producer. We need to get somebody in here who produces this stuff in Hollywood, so we can talk to him and we can ask him about doing right and wrong in Hollywood and making ethical business decisions and ethical themes through business and experiences he's had in the business. I started thinking, who would I bring in? And in an offhand way, I thought, you know, who's the best producer in Hollywood right now? Bar none, it's Jon Landau. As I said, he produced Avatar, and he produced Titanic. Of course, for Titanic, Golden Globe Award, he got an Academy Award nomination, and he won the Academy Award for producer of Titanic. He also got an Academy Award nomination for Avatar. So these are the two highest grossing movies in Hollywood history, not just in the United States, but in the world. So this guy is the go-to producer. And this coming on the heels of watching this movie called The Producers, I thought, well, pick up the phone. How hard can this be? Well, it's harder than you think. But after a few phone calls, I tracked down his agent. And so even producers in Hollywood have agents. And I called his agent, talked to him. We had a series of conversations. We exchanged some emails. He wanted to make sure I was legit, that this was a real thing. And I said, I would like to consider bringing Jon Landau to Lynchburg College in Lynchburg, Virginia, to talk about Hollywood and business ethics. This was an interesting thing for his agent. His agent said most requests we get from colleges and universities are for Mr. Landau to come talk about filmmaking or backroom stories. And I said, well, that's not what we want. At Lynchburg College, we want to bring him to our campus to talk about business ethics, to talk about Hollywood business ethics, talk about ethical decision making, right and wrong, actual events he's been involved with. Now that was a captivating moment, because every movie that Jon Landau has ever been involved with, Every movie Jon Landau has ever produced, there's a strong ethical theme running through the movie. There's a strong sense of right and wrong. There's a strong sense of revealing in the plot where people go the wrong way. Nobody's asked him to talk about business ethics. Nobody has asked him to come meet with some college students and sit down and talk about his sense of right and wrong in the business world and what he's seen during his very commendable, outstanding career. So he said, I'm intrigued by this offer. I'm intrigued that you would ask me to do this. And he gave us an immediate yes. So we're going to have 500 people in there, college students, freshmen, sophomore, all the way up to graduate students. We've also invited people from the community to get tickets if they can and come and sit in the room with us. But to have Jon Landau sitting in a room with 500 people at Lynchburg College talking about a subject near and dear to him, I think he's intrigued by this different opportunity, which is off the norm for what he usually does on his speaking engagements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's normally like, it'll be more personal.
Sure, I mean,
even though it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
To him, it's.
This is very intimate to him. Here's a guy who goes to the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion for the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who, when he goes to an event, it's a big deal. And when he comes to Lynchburg, he's going to be driving around with me in my 2005 Buick Rainier. I mean, we don't have a town car for him. We don't have a Mercedes to drive him around in. I may or may not wash my car before he gets here. He's going to thump around Lynchburg with me. And he's going to get to see what we're all about here in Lynchburg up close and personal. He's going to have an opportunity to understand who we are as a college, as a community of college students, as an environment where people are learning to think for themselves and learning to deal with ethical decisions in the business world.
Breathtaking photographs of our solar system are featured in Beyond, Visions of Planetary Landscapes, a Smithsonian Institution traveling exhibition at the Dara Gallery, September 21st through November 14th. An opening reception and lecture, NASA, Past, Present, Future, by President Guerin, will be Tuesday, September 21st at 7 p.m. in the gallery. Beyond, Visions of Planetary Landscapes includes 35 large-scale photographs that give an in-depth look at planetary photography. Aylan Stavans, considered one of the most influential figures in Latino literature in the United States, will give the John M. Turner Lecture in the Humanities at Lynchburg College at 7:30 p.m. September 23rd in Hopwood Auditorium. Dr. Stavans, Lewis Sebrings Professor in Latin American and Latino Culture at Amherst College, will discuss Spanglish, the new American literature. Next weekend, parent and families of Lynchburg College students will be welcome to campus for Parent and Family Weekend 2010. Many activities have been scheduled for the weekend, highlighted by 2 concerts Friday night, numerous ceremonies on Saturday afternoon, casino night Saturday night, and capped by the women's field hockey game on Sunday afternoon, following morning worship service. For the complete schedule, visit lynchburg.edu. Now for a look at the week ahead. Let's head over to LC Storm Center for the forecast with Chief Forecaster Will Stafford.
Now from the LC Storm Center, here is Chief Forecaster Will Stafford.
All right, tropics continue to be active out there. This season was expected to be fairly active. Thankfully, most of the storms have remained off the mainland. However, Bermuda hasn't been so lucky. Here's a look at the satellite. 2 storms out there right now. The one on the farthest side of the screen is Julia. She's going to spin harmlessly out to the open Atlantic. However, Igor here is going to skim Bermuda as a potent Category 2 storm, dumping tons of rain before racing off into the open Atlantic. However, back closer to home, though, we could use the rain, but won't get any this week anyway. In fact, won't even see seasonable temperatures this week, as we'll see another week of temps having no problem hitting 90 or above during the day, but cooling off quickly at night. So we'll continue to have temperature swings over the next few days of upwards of 30 degrees. Fall starts later this week, and for those of us that stuck around this summer, we know how hot it was. June through August, 3 of the 4 reporting sites have reported the hottest summer on record. Lynchburg had the 7th hottest summer on record officially, but for the last few days of summer and for the first few days of fall, still hot, sunny skies all week. No mention of rain. Temperatures hitting 90 or close to it near every day, with lows seasonable at least in the upper 50s to around 60. By the way, fall begins on Wednesday night at 11:09 p.m. Back to you, Mandy.
Thanks, Will. Now for this week's update on LC Sports with Sports Director Justin Pryputin.
What's up, sports fans? It's Justin Pratt-Putin with your weekly update in the world of sports. The ladies of the field hockey team lost Saturday to the captains of Christopher Newport. The game was scoreless until the last 10 minutes where CNU got one past the LC defense. The team travels to Springfield, Virginia to take on Messiah on Wednesday. In the first ODAC game of their season, the LC volleyball team beat Randolph College on Wednesday in straight sets, 25-8, 25-9, and 25-9. They took the court again Saturday as they beat Rutgers Camden 25-8, 25-20, and 25-13, and Southern Virginia 25-19, 25-21, and 25-19. This makes it 7 straight for the team as they travel to Emory and Henry for their second ODAC game of the season. The LC ladies soccer team lost to #1 ranked Messiah on Saturday. The game remained scoreless at half, but that's when Messiah dropped 4 goals on the Hornets to beat them 4-0. Over to the men. They had a close call on Wednesday as Cam Smith hit the back of the net with 10 minutes left to beat Virginia Wesleyan in their first conference game of the year. On Sunday, however, the game against Salisbury ended in a tie after 90 minutes of regulation and 2 overtime periods. The guys take on Hamden and Sydney at home on Wednesday at 7. News and notes this week. VT got off the schneid by beating East Carolina. It's about time, VT. #1 Alabama destroyed Duke on Saturday 62-13. And after a long career, Dodgers manager Joe Torre decided to hang it up. He will retire at the end of this season. There is a possibility he could return to New York, but we will keep you posted. The Lynchburg Hillcats have changed affiliations. Their new parent club will be the Atlanta Braves after serving 2 seasons in the Reds farm system. And I bet you didn't know the National Putt-Putt Championships were in town this weekend. They were held at Putt-Putt Golf and Games on Timberlake Road. In case you're interested, Greg Newport of High Point, North Carolina won this event by 4 shots. That's it for your week in sports. I'm Justin Pratt-Putin. Back to you, Mandy.
Thanks, Justin. Finally, as a reminder, we are still taking applications for this month's Campus Hero. If you know someone who is deserving of being named Campus Hero, send your email to inlc@lynchburg.edu. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, I'm Mandy. See you next week, LC.